Hello Internet, welcome back to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. In the last episode we had pretty much the entire episode we were shooting zombies and clearing out the local area. Quite a few went down and we chewed through a lot of our ammunition. But on the plus side we did come away with a big pile of nothing. We found absolutely nothing on these corpses, but we are probably going to loot a little bit in this episode. So everyone, welcome back. Oh, I see my mini-map broke when I alt-tabbed over to Discord. That's super fun. So we were in the process of clearing out. We walked around this building, saw a big horde. We're gonna clear our way, I think, to this police station and doctor's office, but obviously that is going to require quite a bit more shooting. We also, of course, want to hit the open sewer in hopes of getting some CBMs. We really should raise our first aid skill. Oh, we don't have books. We talked about this last time that we came across some zombies that would have CBMs. Man, I don't have books. 3 first aid is not terrible. I believe it's based on your it might be electronics and first aid. I don't remember. But I do remember we did not have books for first aid. Maybe since then we found some books. Let's sort our stuff. So we get our books put on the book pile, which I believe shares a tile with our med pile. So it should be here. Any of you first aid books? No, they are. Oh yes, physician's desk reference, but unfortunately I think that's, we'll just read it. It requires intelligence before. What? Oh, you're not even a medical book? It's just a desk, or it doesn't even have recipes in it. So that's just a book for poops and giggles? Why does this book exist? Did it put it in my inventory? It did. Why do you exist? You don't have recipes, you don't raise your skill, and it's a -2 morale, so it's not even for fun. So it's a just for fun book that is -2 fun. Alright. Okay, well, that's not helpful. We might as well read these to get their recipes available to us here. So let's pop through these books really quick. And we should have inventory space to pick all of these up. Oh, my neighbor's kids are out. Super fun. I think in the last episode I mentioned he was hosing something out. I think it was a pool. I think he has like a kiddie pool over there. Just based on the sound and everything. I haven't looked. I try not to look. You know, I talk about what they're doing all the time, but I actually don't like pay attention to them. It feels weird, right? It feels weird to like look at your neighbors. I just don't do that, you know, like unless it's something egregious, like if it's 6 in the morning and I hear rumbling out there, I might look out the window and see what the heck he's doing. But I don't spy on my neighbors. That's like such a, I mean, maybe this is a terrible thing to say. I was going to say that's such like a middle-class white lady thing to do. And I'm just, that's not who I am. So we don't have any first aid books. We could raise our electronics to 5. That, like I said, I think electronics helps you. It might be survival instead because we are butchering, but I don't think so. I think it's either survival or first aid for butchering, just depending on which option you choose. It's one or the other. And dissection would use healthcare, obviously. Our electronics is not close enough. It would take us a long time to read. That's probably not something we're going to deal with in this episode anyway, the CBM zombies. So why don't we... Oh, I saw a brute there. Where are you guys at? Okay. Let's deal with that. I'd rather deal with the brute now than get surprised by it later. So let's drop our spear. Go ahead and reload the magazine. And let's deal with them quickly here. They have spotted us. And if we can kill... Oh, you're an acid zombie. You're not a regular zombie. Okay, so I was going to say if we can kill the brute, we'll melee the other one. But no, we're not doing that with a acid zombie. We talked about this before. The acid barf ability actually can destroy your legs in just a few turns. Please bleed to death. I definitely will not let you strike me. Please bleed to death. There we go. And we'll deal with the hunter as well. And you're going to be too quick to outrun, I think, so we'll just put you down because our stamina was already on the ropes. Zombies dangerously close. Hello, zombies. I did not notice you. We'll deal with you as well. And we have recovered enough stamina that we should be able to outrun them and let them bleed out as well to conserve a little bit of ammunition. So, you know, we don't have to do this. You know, we talked about this in the last episode. We have a lot of bullets. It's just one of those habits now that bleeding is in the game. It's just good to do that. Because if you can save an extra round, you know, I mean, think about it. In the last 5 enemies that we killed, get rid of that stamina sound, please. In the last 5 enemies we killed, we let 4 of them bleed to death. So that's 4 rounds that we would have spent otherwise. So it is obviously a beneficial thing. Heroin. I don't... Like I said, we're not finding a lot of very good loot on these corpses. Let's grab the acidic zombie out of there. Do you have anything on you? Ooh, quite a few pieces of motorcycle gear. Actually, I do want that stuff, even though it's pretty damaged. Dismember. So please pull that Kevlar. Wait, no, they're Kevlar and cotton, right? I still don't understand that. I've never seen motorcycle gear that does not have leather. So I would have thought it would be Kevlar and leather. Regardless, we could take these apart for Kevlar, but more importantly, we could repair these pants. Possibly. No, because our tailoring sucks. What's our tailoring? Is 1 on the way to 2. We're not gonna... At 50% health... Let me grab my tailor's kit. I would guess we would probably need a skill level of about 4. Because they're... So basically, when you try to repair something, it's based on a few factors. The main one is the damage that it's already been given. So like if I had this where it was only down 1 tick, it would be much easier to repair than if it's down to... you know, 1 out of 4 instead of 3 out of 4. It would be much more difficult. So it's mostly based on the damage of the item already, but it's also based on the material. Obviously your skill level is a huge factor. So motorcycle pants, half health, I'm betting I would need like a skill of 4 to have even a decent chance of repairing them. But let's pick up our tailor's kit and see what it says for our skill level. Oh, actually, it won't even show because we don't have the Kevlar necessary to repair it. Well, we do have rags, though. And I think you can use either or. So use the tailoring kit, repair fur, leather, blah, blah, blah. And we'll just try the pants. We have no chance of repairing, which is expected. And a 4% chance of damaging it. So if I raise my skill another level, we might get like a 0.2 chance to repair, and this damage chance would drop down by about half, would be my guess. That's just not something we're going to do. And again, unless we have... Let's sort our loot again. Unless we have a book specifically for tailoring, which I think we do. Tailoring. There we go. Tailoring to 3. Because grinding tailoring manually is so much harder now since they've changed the way tailoring works and with proficiencies and stuff. First of all, let's get our books out of here that we have duplicates of so that they're not occupying space in my valuable vehicle. Like, I definitely don't need 3 alpha male quarterlies or a tourist guide. We can get rid of a bunch of this stuff. And we will free up quite a bit of space here. Remember, books take up a decent amount of space here. And this tile only shares a space with medical supplies. So medical supplies don't take up very much space. That's why I put them together. But I believe that's also our mutagen pile. And again, once we get a lot of books, every little bit of space will matter. So let's grab the rest of these books out of here. What was I talking about? Tailoring. What was before tailoring? Oh, my neighbors. Again, always with the neighbors. I'm talking about my neighbors too much. And then, yeah, I talked about how I'm not a middle-class white lady. So, super exciting. You know, it's funny. I've been listening to True Crime again. True Crime podcast. Because I am fascinated by true crime and crime in general. I think it's really interesting. I started listening to one last night. I remember seeing, when I was a kid, there was some TV show that would show like reenactments of hostage crises. So it would show like these hostage, like 2 men walk into a bank in Wisconsin and hold the whole group of people hostage for 16 hours. Like, and they reenact things and they talk you through like the police mindset. Like this, I don't know what the show was called. This was from like, had to have been from the 90s. So like, I just don't remember. It's been a long time. I was a kid, right? But I remember I remember they covered this thing where back in the 70s, an entire school bus of children was kidnapped, like and held hostage and then buried alive. And like they all live, no trigger issues or warnings or anything, but like I'm pretty sure, I mean, I haven't listened to the whole episode and I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure everyone comes out of it completely fine. So don't freak out about that, but because I don't know, I never know what to say a trigger warning on. I talk about a lot of dark stuff, but like kids especially, you know, a kid being hurt is obviously a hugely triggering thing. Like I don't listen to podcasts if they're like a lot of true crime, they cover like abductions and stuff. I don't listen to that because that stuff is very upsetting to me. Like I don't know why. I'm very sensitive to like violence in particular. Like I like true crime, but sometimes stuff triggers me real bad and I can't listen to an episode. But anyway, yeah, like in the 70s, some like a whole school bus is taken and all these kids are taken with it, and it's this super weird thing that happened. And I started listening to that podcast last night, and I didn't really get very far. I ended up listening to emo music because it was a really long night at work. I got home really late last night. Just was a bad day at work. But anyway, been listening to true crime lately, and I gotta be honest, 99% of true crime podcasts and stuff, it just seems like a bunch of like middle-class white ladies who are talking about crime. And we talked about this before. I listened to a podcast months ago. It was called, I want to say, A Shot in the Dark or something like that. And I talked about this when it happened. And listen, if you like that podcast, no judgment. You know, if you enjoy something, go nuts. Hear a terrible shriek. Do survivors shriek? I don't think they do. Where's that shriek coming from? Anything on you? Just a pocket knife, of course. A military rucksack, but it's too damaged for us to do anything with. And again, no armor. I don't understand why these survivor zombies don't wear armor. But I listened to this podcast. It was called A Shot in the Dark or Shot of Crime or something like that. And it was just two ladies. And it was really clear that they were like basically getting wine drunk and talking about true crime. And their takes were terrible. It was like middle-class white lady takes where they were like, any name that wasn't just a generic white name, they didn't know how to say it. They referred to criminals as like rodents and rats and like garbage and just all these terrible things. And it's like, you can think that, and for sure, some true crime, like a lot of the true crime cases, like those are garbage people. Like Dahmer is a garbage human being. But just hearing these white ladies talk about it, and they clearly have no scheme of reference of what like real adversity is, or like, you know, they talk even too, like when you, let's say, oh God, we're getting on a tangent and it's about murder, and I don't want to, I'm supposed to be avoiding talking about murder. Despite my name being a murder, you know, having murder in it. But basically, like when you talk about true crime, like let's say Dahmer, right? Dahmer's a bad example. I think he had a good upbringing. But let's like say someone like, what's his name from Mindhunter? Ed, oh crap, he's so famous. Not Ed Gein. Ed Gein's the guy who made like lampshades out of people. What's his name? Ed, oh my God, I feel so dumb. I have to look this up. Oh, it's Ed Kemper. I remembered as I was looking it up, but no one's going to believe that. They're going to think I looked it up. But regardless, Ed Kemper. Let's say we're talking about Ed Kemper. We're doing a podcast. We're talking about Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper murdered a bunch of young women back in, I don't know, back in the day. And then killed his mother and confessed to it, turned himself in, and he's done like FBI interviews, and he's a very intelligent man. So like he, you know, they value his take on things because he's, you know, an inside person who has experienced these things firsthand, made these sort of choices. So let's say Ed Kemper. If you're going to talk about Ed Kemper and you talk about his terrible upbringing, like he was like locked in a basement underneath the house, he was only allowed to come up when he was eating dinner, things like that. So when I listen to a podcast and they're talking about like someone like Ed Kemper and they're talking about their upbringing, so often these people have absolutely no compassion. They're talking about a kid who at this point has done nothing wrong, right? It's just a kid who is being abused. And they talk about these kids with the idea that they can't separate the kid from the man that they became. So like when you talk about Ed Kemper and his horrible upbringing, you should have some compassion and be like, this is a really messed up situation that this kid was put in, that this kid did nothing wrong, he was just a kid, and you should have some empathy for the fact that he went through a horrible upbringing. It does not in any way excuse the person that he became or the things that he did, but when I hear podcasters, and they're talking about like a 9-year-old Ed Kemper, and they're like, this freaking monster piece of trash, and I'm like, nah, that's just a kid, you know? Like, you have to be able to separate that at that point they've done nothing wrong, they're just a kid who's being abused. You can have a little bit of empathy in that situation. And a lot of times when I'm listening to a podcast and it's really clear that they're like these like middle-class white ladies who have never lived in the city, never experienced poverty, never been through severe, you know, emotional abuse, and it's just kind of gross. You know, I hope this all makes sense. I don't know if this makes sense, but like, it just feels gross when I hear somebody trashing someone who at the time had done nothing wrong and was just a kid. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, where did my SWAT armor go? I literally just put it here. Did it fall through to the ground? SWAT. Really? Where did my SWAT armor go? I literally just dropped it, didn't I? Is it in my inventory? It is. Okay. Because I wanted to look at it, because we talked about this in a previous episode. So SWAT armor covers torso, arms, and legs. We currently are wearing a Kevlar vest, but I believe we can wear the Kevlar vest underneath the SWAT armor. And the SWAT armor has excellent protection for our legs, because we currently have no protection whatsoever on our legs. So you'll see here we have 15 bash, 20 cut, and 30 ballistic. This armor, very, very good. This is better than... I'm pretty sure this is better than chitin. If I made chitin armor right now, we can check in the debug menu. Yes, ignore chitin. So I'm not going to spawn this, of course. I'm just having a look at the item. Where's my chitin armor? It is just called chitin armor, isn't it? Armor kit. No, here it is. Okay, chitinous armor. Leg and body armor made from the exoskeleton. So this has 12 bash, 16 cut, and 4 ballistic. So this SWAT armor is actually much better than even chitin armor. And we've been looking that if we were going to upgrade our armor... Oh, let's re-enable achievements. If we were going to upgrade our armor, we were going to go to chitin. But here we found SWAT armor, which is objectively better. Plus, what we're looking at is not the fully repaired piece of armor. If we repair this the rest of the way, it will be even better. Although the damage reduction from this little bit of damage is not nearly as much. Like, it's not going to be a huge bump. But I think we have to wear this. Like, I can't justify not wearing this. This is such good armor. I'm so glad we found this, because so many times I kill SWAT zombies and they don't have anything on them. Let's, do we want to... I mean, we probably should put it on right now. We should probably wash this, even in its current condition. So there's no way we would be able to repair this. Let's check the tailor's kit here. There's just no chance. It looks like it's a better chance to repair this than the motorcycle armor, which is so peculiar, because this is pre-manufactured. Like, this is not... With the Kevlar, you would think... you would think it'd be so much more difficult than just repairing some armor. What do we want to do here? Let's wash this. I don't think I have a washboard. We can make one. Or a wash kit. They would have both shown up if I'd searched for them. Do I have a sponge? We do. So we wouldn't need a sponge, though. That's just for hard items, which clothing is not a hard item. Alright, let's make a washboard. They're very easy. Let's duck in this house. I think I need a plank. I don't think I have any in the car here. So let's pop into where they destroyed some stuff. Oh, this is the wrong side of the building. Ooh, Necro Boomer's not great. Where are you at, Necro Boomer? Yeah, you're not great. Okay, I don't really want to deal with you. Ignore the Boomer. I don't think they have very good vision, so I'm not really worried about it coming over here. But we need to be super aware of that. I don't think they can upgrade until they blow up. So a Boomer, this is a Necro Boomer. It explodes. Someone literally just left me a comment and told me what they do, but now I don't remember. I don't think that they can upgrade anything or revive anything until you kill them. When they boom is when they do that. So if we leave this alive, I don't think we have to worry about it upgrading things. But if you remember, last time when we drove through here and we saw a necro boomer, there was a zombie master or whatever with it as well. Actually, that I think was way over here. I'm not super concerned. But anyway, that's a problem for later. That's a problem for tomorrow's unicorn, not for right now. Let's pop in here. Make ourselves a washboard. Should be auto-learned, so we don't have to have a book nearby to get the recipe. Go ahead and dispose of the M4. Drop is fine. Pick up the M4. Wear the M4. So it looks like the washboard is big enough we actually have to carry it in our hands. Should be nice and easy though. And then I believe we can wash directly from the tank in our vehicle, which doesn't really make sense because how are we getting the water in and out of that to wash with? But I think is how this works. So we should be able to activate the washboard and we should be able to wash the SWAT armor. We do have water. It does count. It uses 104 water. My God, that's like half of our tank of water. Okay, worth it though, I think. Use soap, I don't really care, we have so much. Then let's lose our... This covers the arms, legs, and torso. Let's lose... Keep the underwear. Keep the Kevlar vest. Keep the gloves, because I don't think it covers our hands. Lose the pants. And lose the arm guards. The arm guards are real good though. And they're on the strapped layer. We don't have to lose the arm guards. We can wear both. Take off the pants. Now we're pantless in the apartment. Actually, we're wearing underwear. It's fine. Am I a dude, by the way? I always forget if I'm a dude or a woman. Alright, let's throw on the SWAT armor here. And we should not have any conflicts, I think. Yeah, the strapped layer on our torso is horrible, but that's fine. What do we have in the way of... Yeah, so they don't conflict. Our arm guards and our SWAT armor do not conflict. The fingerless gloves don't conflict. And our underwear, of course, does not conflict. So we're good. So that's a noticeable upgrade for our legs especially, because we had nothing on our legs. Torso encumbrance is a bit high. I don't love how high our torso encumbrance is. However, we're not really doing much in the way of fighting in melee. And then the other thing is that SWAT armor... Oh, it does have pockets. I was going to say it doesn't have pockets. How do I view your pocket data? How do I... Page down? Okay. Not rigid. Does not conduct electricity. That's neat. I did not know that. It does have pockets. Protect you from harm and withstand a lot of abuse. Yeah, so it's durable. So it will be damaged slower. And we can use it to craft the AEP suit. Now, there's a bit of contention for me. Do I have that recipe? I highly doubt that I do. Oh my God, I do. Okay, so an AEP suit is considered the best armor in the game. Like, no, it's not the AEP suit. It's the, is it the other one? That's the best armor in the game? Trying to remember. But regardless, people talk about these suits all the time as a really good go-to for like just armor in general. You can see the encumbrance is absolutely tiny on this armor, which is the main thing, which I don't understand because it's an environmental protection suit that is also armored, so you would expect it to be encumbering, but it's not. It also has very good ballistic and all that stuff values as well. It's comparable to what we're wearing right now. The SWAT armor is about the same level of value armor-wise, but this is 100% coverage on basically your torso, arms, and legs, which is very, very potent indeed. I would guess the SWAT armor is probably 100% as well. 95%. So it doesn't sound like much, but that 5% actually makes a pretty substantial difference. 5%, you know, because it's a 100% chance of absorbing that damage versus 95%. So with 100%, you're guaranteed to hit that armor layer. With the SWAT armor, they can roll a lucky roll and get right through our armor. You'll see the encumbrance is also double or triple what the actual like other armor is. So yeah, it's the encumbrance. It's too low. It doesn't make sense. Why would an environmental suit? It uses a clean suit and SWAT armor. So I don't know why it's not letting me use the SWAT armor as the component. But regardless, it's using a clean suit and a SWAT armor, which would have such a huge penalty because you're using a whole like hazmat suit. Why is it only 5 encumbrance? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway, people talk about these all the time as being one of the go-to armors, but I'm perfectly content with the SWAT armor, is quite good. And we would like to raise our tailoring skill. Maybe when we, you know, night falls and everything, maybe we'll settle in and raise our tailoring skill a little bit, and we can repair this armor to full. But yeah, that's a huge upgrade, so I'm super glad to have found that. Let's pick up our spear here. Yeah, I don't need the washboard. In fact, well, we'll put it in the vehicle. I was going to say we could just leave it because it's such an easy craft, but we might as well toss it in our vehicle. Not like we don't hoard everything else. Alright, we want to head into town here. I really want to get some looting done. We have not been doing any looting. It's just been a lot of clearing enemies out, which, you know, it's part of the game, but it does get pretty boring. Why don't we just pop into the house here to the north? We cleared this area previously, so we're not really super concerned. Webbed zombie is the swimmer type zombie, and we see 2 of them, which means they likely are coming from that pool and radiating out, although this is pretty far for them to migrate, so I don't know that for sure. Let's pop in, do a little looting, shake things up a little bit. Nope. Nope. Filing cabinet. Hole puncher, no thank you. We're mostly looking for books. Soldering iron, always a good find, and we'll take that medium battery out of the hot plate. Again, we don't really need things like that. We don't need the hot plate anymore. We have something that runs on battery power out of our vehicle. Or our vehicle power, I mean, and in the kitchen unit, so we don't need to worry about like a hot plate or anything like that. They're pretty nice to have in the early game if you go places and you can't afford to take a fire with you. Deal with this zombie here. Of course, zombies love vandalism, so they smash out the windows. And yeah, I didn't address my torso encumbrance. I really should have done that. It's a little bit high. What I should do is take off the stethoscope, because we're really not using that. That frees up 3 points of, it's 1 point of encumbrance plus the penalty of 2 additional points that we normally have. I guess we'll favorite that and keep it in our inventory. The problem is our skill is so low that cracking a safe would take hours and hours and hours. Even with the stethoscope, it's just not really worth it. Definitely will take oatmeal and cornmeal though. Good shelf-stable foods. Now, do not pour the water. I wanted to see what was on the tile. It's the plunger and things. I do like, you know, I know that these objects don't really have value in the game, but I do like that they've added a lot of those things. Like we saw the hole punch. You know, we have a plunger. We have toothbrushes, things like that. I know that a lot of people are like, well, what's the point of them? But I just enjoy the world building that they give us. I want to butcher one and see if we get like plastic out of it. So I'm curious if they're good for something like that. They give you wood and a chunk of rubber. I mean, I can't think of anything I ever need a chunk of rubber for, but it's also not the most common material to come across, so that seems like it would be a valuable place to get it. And then the toilet brush is not something we can disassemble apparently. So what are you gonna do? Of course, they have an interior door lock. Love that. Professional plunger. Person's really really super into plunging toilets. Let's check the basement, of course, and be a little cautious. Survivor zombie. That actually bodes pretty well, because that might mean there's some good stuff down here. I'm gonna fall back. It did see me, so hopefully it comes up the stairs. Swap to the M4. Now, do not wield the arm guards. That would be a stupid thing to do. Did not come up the stairs. Maybe if we make some noise over here. Nope. Yep. So you're right there and you grab me the instant I come down the stairs. I literally can't get away from you. Thankfully, we did have multiple blows there absorbed by our armor. You can see your armor protects you, fails to penetrate your armor. That, of course, is the immediate value of us having gotten this armor. That's really great. I'm very slow because of the injuries here, and I really don't want to get caught indoors like that. There were 2 survivor zombies. Again, this bodes well for that basement. The necro boomer is approaching. I'm going to kill the necro boomer. Please die. Ignore. You hear the necro boomer explode. Okay. So let's pop around the corner and see if it resurrected that survivor zombie. It didn't. Maybe they upgrade when they die? Upgrade adjacent enemies? Because I really thought that they... I really thought when you blew up, you resurrected. Maybe they upgrade. More motorcycle gear. We should take that stuff. Let's clear out the area here. I'm not sure where they all came from. I didn't think we were making that much noise, but I guess we did pop off a few rounds in that house. Smith & Wesson. Kill this guy. And we did not take out that second survivor zombie. So I think it's stuck in the house here. See if we can push up and maybe lure it out. That's not the survivor zombie. Let's pulp the other one since that one doesn't seem to be wanting to come out to play. Not sure why it didn't break out the windows and come after us. Another medium battery. I think we're good. Check the survivor. Of course, no real loot on it whatsoever. Another zombie cop coming. Might have a handgun on it, so we'll deal with that as well. We're out of ammunition. Swap clips. No, please don't stop opening my mutagen or my bionics menu. I don't have bionics. Sheriff shirt, stylish wallet. No, nothing really here we want either. Full battery, I guess we'll take. I mean, we don't even need it. I have so many batteries at this point. Okay, where is this survivor zombie? Oh, I see you, crawling zombie. Hello. Yeah, critical. Killed him. Murdered him. Alright. There you are. Okay, please don't grab me. Your last friend did that and it was very annoying. Pulp you. Makeshift knife. Yeah, I really wish you would have armor on you. I just don't understand why they don't. Let's get our stamina back. And let's check this basement now. We're going to keep the gun out, I think, because there could be more down there. But I don't want to lose my spear, which I dropped around here somewhere. Spear. Actually, I think it's in the house. No, don't quick save. I keep mashing buttons, man. I'm just used to the fast menuing. Yeah, it's in the house here. So let's pop downstairs, and hopefully there's no more. But with survivors in the basement, oh, it is the gun basement. Okay, good. Or it's the little bunker basement. So there's going to be, what time? Oh, we're over time already. Why don't we call the episode here? In the next episode, we will loot this area. Usually it's pretty good for a few pipe rifles and some ammunition. We'll see there is an M240 here, but it's very damaged. I don't know why it's damaged. It must be pre-generated that way. You'll see the clothing is not filthy, which means it's not from a zombie. This was this was spawned here manually. So looks like they just didn't want to give you a healthy gun. That's kind of common from older versions of Cataclysm. Like, if they did give you something in map gen, they had made a point to make sure it was basically worthless. Like, we're never going to be able to repair this gun, so it becomes pointless, right? And that's very much typical of what the game was like, you know, 3 years ago. Was like, oh, if we're going to give you something, it's going to be bad. So you can't really get value out of it. So, but anyway, I think we'll call the episode here. We hear a terrible shriek again, so I do think that these survivor zombies might have some sort of shriek ability. See, their description specifically references armor and weaponry, and they literally never have either of those things on them. Anyway, I think that's it. Everybody, thank you for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. I'll be back with more Cataclysm in the near future, and I'll see you in the next video.